Hey guys, my name is Amanda Fisher. I am the owner of ANF Training LLC and the founder. And today, welcome to my basement. I wanted to post my first video in challenge of a business associate that I have, as well as Mission Ready Media, who is helping me with my mission statement for my upcoming project here in Grand Rapids. And they wanted me to post daily and bring you guys videos just really showing who I am, showing my thoughts, sharing my journey. Because this is what I do with everybody that I work with. I work to be open, I work to be honest, I work to look at reality and really what it is and trying to help people find that reality and just maybe who they're, and just looking at who they're supposed to be. And this all comes from my own personal journey. So what I wanted to do was give you an understanding of where I'm at and how I'm handling the current situation and giving you some background. So we are amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Most of us are locked down. We are not to leave our homes. Unless we need something essential, such as groceries, dog food, things like that. We're not going out, we're not going to bars, we're not going to restaurants, we're not even supposed to be going to our friends' houses. That way we can reduce the spread. So obviously people are in this, you see panic, you see fear, you see some people handling it and just kind of blocking everything out. And it's finding that happy balance between all of those. So I wanted to explain to you a little bit of how I got to this. And so before all of this happened, my husband and I received a lifestyle change. About, the time frame might not be right, about 30 days ago, my husband's company announced that they were going bankrupt. My husband is the breadwinner of the family, and this was a shock to both he and I, because it meant a lifestyle change. He wanted me to continue to focus on my journey and what I'm doing, where Amanda's head started kind of going really anxiously, okay, how can I get a job back in the finance world? Or can I go back into accounts receivable, clerical, something like that, because I want to make sure my family's stable, because unfortunately I didn't grow up in a very stable, wealthy environment. And by all means, I'm middle class, but we have done very hard to make sure our children have food to come home to, have clothing, have a house, without worrying about the necessities. So my husband started the job search as his company was starting their liquidation sale and everything like that. About 20 days into that, maybe even less, COVID-19 started happening, and that's when we started seeing individuals getting confirmation to slowly start pulling back, slowly start the social distancing. And he was still in his store, he was still making sales. However, being a personal trainer, we had to be a lot more concerned with who was coming into the gym, making sure the viruses didn't spread, making sure things were locked down. So my job went into shutdown about 20 days after his job received their confirmation. So my income, we knew, was going to be impacted. And after we had locked down, 4 days after that, we got a double bitch slap in the face with my husband being notified that he was being terminated, that because of the COVID-19, he was no longer going to have a job. So the 60 days we had planned from the time he was advised that he was going to be laid off because his company was shutting down, we were brought to a complete halt, okay? So among all of the different pieces that everybody is experiencing, everybody has their own story of how they've gone into this. And I'm not gonna lie, that Friday that we received that information, I broke. I spent about 2 hours crying that day. That Saturday, I cried a good half of the day. By that Sunday, I was officially breaking down to the point I was almost having what seemed like a panic attack because I could not get my breath. I had felt the weight of the world come crashing down on my family and I, when we have been there. We have done this once already. So it's very hard to think, how are we going to do this? You know, by that Sunday, my husband is in our room reassuring me that we will get through this. We've done it before. We have come out stronger and better, and we are strong and we can do this. I went to bed that night, million thoughts running in to my head. Not gonna lie, it took some melatonin to knock me out because the anxiety was so much that I just couldn't process anymore. And I woke up Monday and said, you wanna know what? I can't control it. I just gotta do it. So in this discovery, I had that breakdown. I recognized the amount of anxiety, the amount of fear, the amount of uncertainty, and I let it all hit me. I let it all out. And I cried. And if you know me, I don't like to cry. I typically hold it in, which is why I've spent so many years with things so pent up and so much anxiety. I realized Monday that I have a purpose. I have a goal in life, and I'm not going to stop fighting for that goal, no matter what's happening. Then gyms officially shut down and everything was locked down. And I said, you want to know what? This is where we start controlling how we're going to come out of this. I am the only one that can control how things are going to happen in my life. And there's going to be pieces from society thrown at me and my family. But you want to know what? I'm the one who's going to choose how I react to those. So my husband and I sat down. We sat down with our budget. We looked at all the different bills that we had going in and out. And we said, okay, how can we work with our creditors? How can we work with all the debt in the midst of him being laid off, in the events of me being laid off, COVID-19 happening, and not knowing when this world is going to get back up and running. So we made our plans, we contacted everybody, and we have a plan set in place. We chose to take back control what we could and go, how can we make sure we come out of this the best way possible? We can sit here and we can think we're going to go into debt, we are going to lose our house, everything's crashing down on us, we're not sure when the economy is going to come out. Or we can say, this is how we're going to attack this for right now. Here are the plans that we have in place, and this is how we're going to approach this. And what you see are fear and panic and anxiety. And then you see, okay, I'm going to acknowledge what is happening, but this is the control that I can have. And these are the pieces I can work with right now. So we're going to work this way until we know the plans that are going on. And that's honestly what I would like to see more people doing. I would like to see, you want to know what? We are in a scary state right now. There are reasons to be fearful. There are reasons to have anxiety. But at the end of the day, what pieces can we look at and go, you want to know what? I can do X, Y, and Z to make sure that I am looking at this and addressing this the best way possible. And I'm not going to allow all of these pieces to control how I feel. Because at the end of the day, you, me, we are the only ones that can control how we look at a situation. We are the only ones that can decide if we are going to be proactive, if we're going to be reactive. And by doing that, so proactive, you go, hey, what are some of the pieces, what are the scenarios, and what is the best choice I can make right now in order to get through this situation? And then if I'm handed another piece, then I will decide from there where I need to move, especially in a world where we have so much uncertainty right now. Or do we huddle into a ball filled with so much fear and so much anxiety and what is unfortunately turning into some hatred and essentially shut down? I would rather be on the other end, and because I've been on this end. You know, I lived a good chunk of my life that way, and I'm telling you, I missed out on so much. I missed out on so many opportunities, and it didn't come until right now that I realized just how much I've grown. That you want to know what? I am going to take this one day at a time. I'm going to take it one step at a time, and I'm going to do the best thing that I can do for myself and to help contribute to society. Because at the end of the day, I want to be a positive force and a strong force that comes out of this lockdown. I don't want to be on the other end where I'm anxious, I'm fearful, and I'm spreading that in society, because whichever way you go, you're going to spread those who are interacting with you. And I would rather be a piece that helps bring the country up. I would rather be a piece that helps bring my community back onto its feet, rather than being a piece that might suppress some of the good that we're trying to do and take longer to happen. So I really want you to think about what you can do right now. It's Saturday afternoon. I don't want to say it's beautiful here in Grand Rapids. It's raining right now, but at the end of the day, you can choose what you're going to do and how you're going to think moving forward. How can you take back control, and how can you kind of ignore the different, not ignore, but set aside the pieces that society, your neighbors, your family, all these different pieces that influence your life, how can you set them aside so you can go, what do I want to do? What are the pieces that I can look at? What can I make a change of today that can affect a change tomorrow? And how can you make it positive? How can you make it realistic? Okay, because the other piece of this is also being realistic. I would like to challenge you to think of something. Think of how you are going to make a small change, because it takes 1 millimeter of change to start a reaction. That is all it takes in the scientific world. So we can choose to be that 1 millimeter that tips the scales in the right way, or we can be that 1 millimeter that delays the tipping of the scale. Okay? So some food for thought. I'm going to be doing some more daily posts throughout the next coming weeks. So I would like to thank you for following me on my journey, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks.